for the majority of the world who's getting their news from traditional media, whose job it is to deliver the viewers' eyeballs to their advertisers, and we pay 10 times more attention to negative news and positive news, we're just constantly bombarding our neural nets with negative news. And I don't think that's good for society. And we're addicted to it. And I'm not asking you to diss your employer.
Well, I got a story to tell you about this, because I agree, and not only do I agree, almost everybody in cable news agrees.
Yeah.
And so I had a TV show with Newt Gingrich called Crossfire, and our job was to get on air and yell at each other and disagree about everything. But
Easily done.
yeah, but then at the breaks, we were always finding areas of common ground. I think a point I made he thought was smart, a point he made, and then we go back on air, we yell at each other. So we finally got pissed off. We went to the producer.
Wait, on the breaks, you guys was hugging?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, shit.
100%. Because, I mean, Newt Gingrich is a very smart guy, and he's been around. He helped a lot of poor people in Georgia, like stuff people don't even know about Newt. And so we got, uppity. Okay, well, I didn't, but he did. He's, a legend. So we went to talk to producers, and we said, look, we want to create, at the end of every show, a segment that's called Ceasefire, where we would actually show what we learned from each other and how we actually found some common ground. So it happened every show. Let's put it on the air. I said, we don't do that. And Newt was very insistent, so we did it. And we were very happy with ourselves. And then 5 weeks later, our producers called us in the office and they said, how are you guys doing? I said, well, we thought we were doing pretty good, but the fact that you guys are calling us in here probably means we're not doing that good. So yeah, so that segment you guys are so happy about, Ceasefire, let me show you something. Your ratings. And it turned out that as long as we were fighting, the viewership was going up, 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 up. Then we would get to the point where we would say, and when we get back, where Newt and I agree, you're going to be surprised after these messages. And the audience would abandon the show, and they would flee over to MSNBC or Fox. That wasn't the worst part. The worst part is that poor Aaron Burnett, whose show came after ours, was then therefore starting in a ditch. Because your only job in TV is to hold the audience and give the people behind you a bigger audience.
Yeah.
We're giving her a crater. Now, her advertisers are mad. And so they said, you guys, you think this is cute? The audience says they want positivity. They hate it. They don't want it. Keep fighting.
Wow.
And so I do want to suggest that every show I've ever done has had this element. I did the Redemption Project. We talked about criminal justice solutions, the worst ratings in CNN's history. I did the Van Jones show on Saturdays where we're bringing people together to find common ground, the worst shows in CNN history. So when people attack cable news for not doing positive stuff, I am the most positive host.
You are.
And the least successful host in CNN's history. And so there's something beyond just there's something going on. That said, I do think that we're in a different moment now. And I do think that information is now a commodity. Bad news, listen, as soon as some bad news happens, I get 9 different alerts from The Economist and CNN and BBC and everybody else. It's a commodity.
I get it from my mom.
Yeah, exactly. So, but education is now priceless.
Yeah.
The news of the day, priceless. I mean, is worthless. The news of the day is so cheap. It's a commodity. Yeah. But the news of the decade, that's priceless. Can you help people understand what's going on? Can you educate people? Can you take all these points, positive and negative, encouraging and discouraging, and help people make sense of the world? And you said something earlier I think is very important. People are overwhelmed now. They only have so many synaptic, you have the math on it, but people's brains are only so big, people only got so much time, and they're getting overwhelmed. I think leadership is not to step forward and get people more freaked out, get people more afraid, demagogue or sensationalize, which is going to make people go to the wrong part of their brain where they're not going to be creative. I think leadership is to come forward and try to give people frames and understanding and metaphors to give them a better sense of what's going on and help people begin to solve their problems. I think the news industry across the board is failing in that. And I don't think at this point it's an excuse to say that we're just giving people what they want. Sometimes you got to give people what they need.